Each and every Wednesday, we live for Wine and Dine Wednesday. What's up, y'all? It's Wine and Dine Wednesday. It's your girl named Star. Tap in with me today, each and every Wednesday. As you know, we live. If this is your first time, welcome. If you are a returning guest, welcome back. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can always be updated when I'm posting new videos, when new content is dropping. And so today we are talking about abuse. So I know I haven't been consistent. I know my recordings are not up. First, I want to tap into that or tap in on that because I will be posting some reposts. I will be posting old videos. I will be posting replays of presentations. As you guys know, for season 2, every day we have a presentation. But it's Wine and Dine Wednesday. I'm on Instagram. I promote on Instagram all the time. I promote on Facebook all the time. But YouTube is where it's at. YouTube is where you can come get the replays. YouTube is where you tap in each and every Wednesday. We are real women having real conversations in real life, in real time. As you know, I got my baby. I always have my kids in and out. Transparency, everything is all real. So today we are going to start with it's Wine and Dine Wednesday. Shout out to Wine and Dine Wednesday. Today is episode 8. We are talking about abuse. I want to know, what is that to you? And abuse happens on many levels. There's the mental level versus the physical level. People hear abuse and they be like, oh, I don't be abused. Or people hear abuse and they think, oh, I'm not getting beat. Abuse is not always physical abuse. That's number one. Abuse is not always physical abuse. There's drug abuse, there's mental abuse, and there's physical abuse. If you want to talk about it, we have to talk about all levels because people get abused on different levels, and it is something that is serious. It is something that's not talked about. It is something that is shied away from because people can't face the facts that is happening. Everybody's not a pleasant person. Everybody's not a welcoming and happy person, and everybody's not nice. So, you know, there's levels to abuse, and I want to talk about it because there's mental abuse and physical abuse. And, this is what that looks like for me. This is what that looks like for me because I am a survivor. If you know me, I was in a relationship for a long time, 5 years. I used to be an aggressor where I wouldn't let nobody put their hands on me. I play fight or whatever. And so to tell y'all my story of how I started getting abused physically is we used to play fight, and I'm the type of person that if you know me, I'm love. I can't hurt nobody that I love. And I bust a nigga lip. Boom, my baby father, my first baby father. I bust his lip. Boom, one time. Play fighting with him. The nigga thought he could beat me. I really could beat him up. And when I bust his lip, I felt so bad. Like, oh my God. I didn't want to do nothing to hurt him, but he kept testing me and playing me. And so after that, I stopped hitting him. Like, I stopped hitting back. And when I say that nigga took advantage, he took full advantage. He used to beat me. He used to disrespect me in the streets. He used to physically abuse me. He used to mentally abuse me. And, when I talk about abuse, I want to dig in deep with it because sometimes I didn't realize, like, I was abused as a child, or sometimes I didn't realize, like, my abuse was triggered before I even got in that situation because I was being abused by cousins. I was being abused in different situations that was unspeakable. Rape is abuse. People don't talk about that. I was abused by my cousins, being picked on. I used to be a bag of bones, or, I was abused when I got bullied. Like, what is abuse to you? Like, what does that look like? Some people abuse is alcohol abuse. Was it abuse of drugs that cause physical abuse? Was it abuse of drugs and alcohol that cause you to feel the pain, the hurt that you feel, or whatever it is that you're going through? Like, there's so many different levels of what does abuse look like to you. And for me, abuse was physical, it was mental, and I had to heal from that. I had to overcome that. Whether it was people laughing at me, whether it was from judgment, whether it was from me judging myself, at the end of the day, it's abuse. There's child abuse. Like, what I was going through started to feel like abuse to my child because what they had to see me go through or what he had to see me go through. At the time, I only had one. But back to the story. Long story short, I bust him in his lip. He started bleeding. After that, I never hit him back again, and it was the worst decision of my life. Now, if you ask me, I dare nigga to put their hands on me. I will definitely be putting my hands back on you, and you better hope you're not getting stabbed or something because it is what it is. You know, one thing my baby father knew is don't ever get it twisted. I was never soft. He knew to clear the fucking space. Because if you fucking put your hands on me and there's something close enough for me to knock you out, just believe. Best believe. I'm picking it up and I'm knocking you the fuck out. Period. He used to clear the room, clear the space, everything. It took me to get a broken jaw to realize I didn't want that for me. I wanted better. And it got hard with that in the same breath. It was hard to know that I want better, to know that I needed to be stronger, to know that I should fight back. It took a lot. It took a long time. Like I said, I was with him for 5 years. The abuse didn't start right away, but eventually it got worse and worse and worse and worse, and to the point where after my jaw got broken, it was no return of that. It's still no return of that. I don't think me and that man can even have a friendship because he doesn't understand how that abuse affected me. He doesn't understand how that situation made me feel. But I'm proud of myself because I healed from it. It's my healing process that got me here. It's my healing process that helps me reach out and speak out and connect with other women. It's my healing process that wants me to let you know that you are not alone. If you are struggling, if you are being abused, if you are in a situation where you feel like it's no return or you want something better or you need something better, use your voice. Speak about it. You know, talk about it. Be stronger than your situation. Be bigger than your situation. Like, stop the violence. Like, men get abused as much as women get abused, but when the men get abused, people look at them like, come on now. They don't believe women to be beating their ass. That's personal. When a woman gets abused, it's, oh, she's a victim. Oh, you exaggerate. And it always becomes a sexual judgment thing. Like, well, what did you do for him to beat you? Or, you deserved it because you're not in your place. And, what is a woman's place? And so when we say report abuse, if you see somebody getting abused and you feel like it's a situation that needs to change, that you can help, report it. How I honestly feel about reporting abuse is you report your own abuse. If you're getting beat and you're tired of it and you're hitting back and it's not enough and you just need an out, talk to somebody. And if you talk to somebody and it ends up going back to that person or it doesn't change your situation or make your situation better, don't give up. Find somebody else to talk to because there is help out there. There is resources. And I learned that the hard way. I'm gonna be transparent and talk about my situation. Like, it wasn't only my baby father, because after him, it was like a repeated process. The healing process and the healing journey, it takes time and it's not easy. And because I couldn't identify what made me attracted to those type of men or those type of situations, I still repeated that until I knew how to grow, until I knew how to heal from what I was going through. And so, you have to want it for yourself. And until I started taking the steps and doing things differently, like I used to run outside naked. I used to think I had to hurt myself to get away from people. Like, to end up back in the same situations, to end up with the same people doing the same things. And I had to really think to myself, I really had to talk to God. And, sometimes I prayed and prayed. Every day I prayed. A lot I prayed. Sometimes I prayed happy. Sometimes I prayed crying. It was to the point where I thought that was for me. I thought it was for me. I thought I had to accept it for what it was, that situation. And come to find out it wasn't. I just had to start using my voice. And sometimes using your voice means just standing for what you believe, standing for what you feel, standing for your respect, standing for your boundaries, standing for what is you and who you are. Like, standing up for your own feelings. Like, you have to be the one to want something different. You have to be the one to want the change. And that's what I mean when I say report abuse. Like, don't let them sit there and make you feel like you have to stay closed mouth because nobody understands or nobody's going through what you're going through, or nobody agrees that you should get away. They think it's your fault. Like, don't be a closed mouth. Use your voice. Stand firm. And if they disagree and they don't like it, listen, let me tell you. If they like it, they gonna stick around. If they don't like it, they gonna go away. That's it, and that's all. Live for you, be happy for you, because there's nothing nobody could do. There's nothing nobody could say to make you feel better, to change what you're going through. You have to want it. Now, when I say report abuse, okay, yeah. If you're seeing a child getting abused, report it. When I say report abuse, if you feel like it's alcohol abuse and somebody you care about, or drug abuse with somebody you care about, yes, take them, get them help and the assistance that they need. If they don't want the help for themselves, I can promise you and almost guarantee you that they will be back in that same situation again. And this is why you can't help them. They have to help them. You have to want to help yourself in order to get up out that situation. Another reason I say be cautious reporting abuse, because if you are reporting somebody getting their ass beat, a lot of times that nigga's crazy enough or stupid enough that he going to threaten you, or you putting yourself in danger, and you cannot put yourself in danger for something that somebody else wants, for a situation that somebody else craves. And these are things that, I'm sorry, I don't know how to be fragile with, but sometimes you just need to mind your business. If you talk to a person and tell them, yo, that's not good, that's not right, you shouldn't be dealing with that, and they still don't get the picture, mind your business. Minding someone else's business, it could save their life, report it. If you feel like you're saving a life, you can help somebody, please stand up and help them. If you report it and it ain't doing nothing but making their situation worse, mind your business. If somebody keeps coming to you, in need of help, try to give them another outlet. Try to give them another resource. Try to help them understand why you support them, but you can only support them to your limits. Love is Blind is the realest song, and by Eve. Shout out to Eve. I grew up with that shit. And when I was young, I was singing that shit. Love is blind, and it'll take over your mind. But what you think is love is truly not. You need to elevate and find. Love is blind. And so as I got older, I'm like, oh, that used to be my shit. And they say, you got to watch what you say. Watch the songs that you singing, because you don't know what you're calling into reality. And as an adult, I had to think like, well, damn, I wonder if I sang my ass into getting beat. Because I sure was rocking Love is Blind. I don't even know you and I hate you. Yeah, I don't know. But it just makes you evaluate your mindset. Like, it's a lot of things in this situation where it just makes you evaluate your mind, what you accept, what you do, what you deal with, what you don't want to accept. And it's hard. It's hard when you're by yourself. It's hard when you don't have the support or the help. When there is no community, when there is nobody cheering you on, telling you, yeah, you're doing right. Yeah, it's going to be okay. Don't turn back. Be stronger than temptation, because sometimes you're strong, you leave, you're doing better, you're moving better. Sometimes you quit the drugs, you go away, you start doing things different, but temptation, you see people doing it, or you get lonely and you looking for that love and that yearn, and you don't see that it's disrespect. You don't see that it's really hurting you more than it's helping you. And that's what made me talk about let's talk about, is it mental abuse, or is it physical abuse? I want to talk about that a little bit deeper, because do you really know the difference of what that is? The difference between mental abuse and physical abuse? Do you know somebody calling you a bitch, somebody disrespecting you, somebody screaming at you when you did something that you had no control of, or you didn't understand the situation? Do you know somebody beating you down, telling you you're never gonna be nothing, you are nobody? Like, that's mental abuse. A lot of people don't think that's mental abuse. A lot of people stay in situations and niggas disrespect them, and then they wonder why they depressed, or they wonder why they unhappy, or they wonder why they keep accepting things that they feel like is unfit for their life or who they want to be or what they see for their future. That's mental abuse. They talk about damn, I can't even get the word off of my brain right now. Um 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 when I remember, we're gonna have to do a remake of what it is. But when you like one of those people that, oh, you never do nothing wrong, you always the victim, but you antagonizing, you the one making that person feel some type of way. Like, it's people who do this all the time. People take your mind and they control it and they make you feel like you're wrong or you need to be in that situation regardless of how they mistreat you or what they did to wrong you, or regardless of what you feel is appropriate. They know how to manipulate you and turn it into you feeling bad, like you did something wrong to them when initially you did nothing but have an opinion. But stand up for something you believed, or stand up for something you didn't agree with. Like, you should not feel bad about that. That should not turn into somebody smacking you down. And even if it don't turn into somebody smacking you down, you have to acknowledge that's still abuse. It's still something that is not right. It's still something that is affecting you and your decisions and what you're doing and how you live in life. And it needs to be talked about. There's nothing wrong with being abused. There's nothing wrong with going through that. And a lot of people feel embarrassed behind it. A lot of people don't want to talk about it or don't know how to talk about it. And I'm bringing it to you to Wine and Dine Wednesday. Abuse is a conversation that we could talk about millions of times over and over again because there's so many different levels. There's so many different effects. There's so many different outcomes. There's so many different solutions. Who are you talking about that with? Who is the person that you can talk to about that? A lot of people don't have that space. I didn't. And we talked before about how a lot of your friends is, oh yeah, I'm here for you, I got your back. But when you don't listen to them, or when you go back to the same things, or when you're not out of the situation that they don't want you to be in, you can't go to them all the time. A lot of times those people don't become your person. Those people stop being the person that you can turn to and talk to, but because of their point of view. And it's not about their point of view. It's not about how they feel or what they feel you should do. It's about you. So you have to sometimes go around them. Sometimes look for other people. Sometimes it is just within yourself. My whole point of Wine and Dine Wednesday is for self-love. It don't matter how you're abused and what level or form, whether it's mental or physical, you have to love yourself. You have to be happy with you. There's nothing nobody could do to make you happy. It's all intentional. It's all internal. Like, it's about you, your mind, your physical presentation, how you feel about you, what you do to make you feel good. Sometimes you need to gain hobbies. Sometimes you need to just, find something different to do for you. You know, I don't want to drag too much on what abuse is and how it was to be abused because I'm a survivor. I healed from that. In my healing process, it took years. It was not easy. It took a long time. I didn't know how to talk about it. I was embarrassed to talk about it. Sometimes I still might shy away from conversations, or sometimes people might put me on the spot because I'm comfortable talking about those uncomfortable conversations in spaces like this. But it's about having that support. It's about letting you know that you're not alone and you should not accept abuse. And if your abuse is more drug abuse, then, seek help. If it's not helping you, if it's not gaining you money, if it's not giving you security in life and happiness, sometimes drugs give you happiness. But that happiness, I promise you, is temporary because you need that high again. That's the point of them creating the drugs. It's like they put whatever sedative in it, additive in it to make you want more, to make you need it again, to make you come back wanting something that you really don't need for yourself. You really don't need for your life. You need to just be bigger, be better, be stronger, have confidence in you, have self love. If you're looking for love, I'm going to tell you something that nobody ever told you, or maybe they did, or, nobody would have thought to tell you, is it's in you. You're going to find love when you love you, when you're loving what you do, how you move, how you look, what you doing. That's when you're gonna find love. That's when you find happiness. Try to find hobbies. Try to not be afraid to speak up. Try to learn you. I'm 34 years old. I have two kids, and I'm still learning me. My name is Tanea. My artist name is Nay Star. I am an entrepreneur. I am a mother, and I'm still healing. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. But what I am going to do is I'm going to live in my purpose. I'm going to be here to support other women that's going through the things that I went through, that's going through the things that I go through. It's not easy. It's not something that you want to do alone. It's not something that you have to do alone. But you have to find the right people because abuse is real. Sometimes your family is the ones abusing you. Sometimes it's your friends that's abusing you. It's not always your partner. Abuse comes from many directions. Like I said, abuse could be sometimes child abuse. People beat their kids. Sometimes they are going through so much abuse mentally from their spouse and their family that it affects their kids. It's reflected on their kids. Like, do you feel like your kids are affected by what you go through? Like, do you think that's abuse? Like, how do you really feel about that? Like, I don't even know how I could respond to that. This baby is all over me. Like, I feel like that's a whole nother level of abuse, a whole nother level of conversation that people ain't even really ready for. People are not really ready for. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Wine Dine Wednesday. Today we talking about abuse. This is the space where we have those real conversations, uncomfortable conversations, where we're talking about things that people are scared to talk about. I want you to be confident in you. I want you to love you. I want you to share your experiences. I want you to use your voice and tell me what it is you need. What it is that you needed when you was in that situation, when you needed the help, or when you didn't have the resources. Provide resources, share resources. It's love. God is love. I always talk about how I don't want to get into religion on here, but I love God because God pulled me out of that situation. God helped me heal. God helped me stand in my purpose and know my voice. God is moving me. And without him, I would be nothing. Without him, I would not know how to get away from that abuse. And when I tell you, I cried and I prayed, I cried and I prayed, and I felt like maybe this is just what it is because it didn't happen when I wanted it to happen, but it still happened. It happened on his time, and I'm thankful, I'm happy, but it all took me believing in me believing in my mission, my goal, my purpose, me wanting better for me. You have to want better for you. Any type of abuse, you don't have to tolerate it. Whether it's coming from family, friends, a spouse, a partner, wherever it's coming from. Abuse is abuse. Know the red flags. Know when to identify red flags. Like, I feel like that's something that a lot of people see the red flags, they go through the stress, and they don't do nothing different about it. They don't make any changes. They just accept it, and then that's when it escalates. That's when it gets worse. When your family is abusing you, don't go to your family. Find somebody else to turn to. Find somebody else to talk to. When your partner is abusing you, let somebody know. Find somebody to get that release out. Every situation is not a situation where you have to separate, you have to run, you have to get away. Sometimes it just takes communication. What does your communication look like? Sometimes it takes understanding. Do you listen to understand or do you listen to respond? Sometimes it takes clarification. If we both can talk to someone because we know we can't talk to each other, we can get that clarification to understand when to be quiet, when to speak up, when it'll turn to a situation that'll escalate. Are you provoking me to where I'm about to flip out and fuck you up? Or are you just responding without incentive that this could get worse? Are you just don't give a fuck? You have to understand where you stand in an abusive situation. And like I said, it could be family abusing you. You ain't never gonna be nothing. You ain't never gonna go nowhere. You will never do nothing with your life. That hurts. It affects you. Acknowledge the hurt. You have to acknowledge when you're wrong. You have to acknowledge when you're hurt. You have to change the things you can't accept and accept the things you can't change. Sometimes that means letting people go. Sometimes that means not going to people for advice or insight. Sometimes that means not telling people certain things. There is a way to get out safely. There is a way to vent, to express yourself without it having to lead to abuse. There is a way to, you know, there's a way to connect. There's always something in somebody, and the more we bring it together, the more we provide that support and love for each other, the more we speak on these type of sensitive situations, the more we acknowledge what abuse is, what mindset is, what environment is, what community means, what support means, and what does that look like for you. How could it help you? What can you build off on that situation? Those are the things that we need to take that those are the things that we need to talk about. Those are the things that we need to think about. And I could get some wine and I could really go in, but I'm not even going to do that, because what I realized today, that it's a lot of women in the same situation with similar feelings or similar insight or similar mindset to help and heal and provide that for a community, and we should touch and agree. We should connect. If you know someone who needs the help, or if you know a community that is providing the same resources to other women, I would like to connect. I would like to build that with you, because I would like to share that. It's not shared. And that's why women are still going through it. That's why we are not feeling the confidence that we need. That's why we still feel discouraged. That's why depression becomes stronger than encouragement. Before positivity, we think about the negativity, because it's a dog eat dog world. People don't care. Who cares is the realest song I ever wrote, because nobody fucking cares. Nobody cares. Excuse my language. If I can't curse on this, I don't even know. I'm going to have to go read and see if it's acceptable on YouTube. But long story short, nobody cares. And it's because nobody cares that it's hard for us to come out and stand up and speak out and talk about what we're really going through, how we really feel, really using our voice, really getting away from the negative things and the abuse. It's really about abuse today. I could say abuse, abuse, abuse. Are you being abused? Are you the abuser? Women are abusers as well. And I'm not judging you. This is a judgment free zone. But do you know the difference? Are you the type of person that you go through something and then you abuse alcohol? Are you the type of person that goes through something and abuse drugs? Are you the type of person that abuse people when you're hurt? You could abuse somebody, you had a bad day, you're not in the mood, don't bother me, leave me alone. Sometimes that's talking down on somebody. Sometimes that is some type of abuse, depending on the situation, who you are, where you are. Abuse is a big topic, because some people feel like that's not abuse. Like, what are you talking about? Nobody ain't touch you. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Nobody ain't touch you. Some people will really argue you down, look at you like you dirty dog. Nobody ain't even doing nothing to you and you crying about it. Like, toughen up, get over it, suck it up. That's what everybody always wants you to do. Suck it up. Deal with it. You don't have to deal with not a thing. You don't. If you choose to accept that, accept the things you cannot change. If I cannot accept it, I'm changing something. I'm changing how I deal with you, who it is that I'm dealing with, where it is, the environment that we dealing and doing. It's about change. One thing I'm going to say about abuse is the best thing to avoid it is to know the red flags, to be aware of what it is, have the knowledge of what it is, and to change, to be able to change, willing to change, accepting of change. Know that change is possible. You don't have to deal with those bad situations. Like, abuse is too broad of a topic for me to just go in on it the way I really want to go in, because I started out talking about how I was abused, and I'm a survivor. My abuse was physical. My abuse turned from physical to mental once I decided I wasn't going to let no man put his hands on me. I hit back. And then that abuse, I feel like it turned to my kid. Not that my kid was being abused, but because he had to watch me be abused mentally. He had to watch me deal with that and understand how to heal and recover from that. Do you know how that hurts, knowing that your kids have to watch you hurt, and then you have to figure out a way to explain that to them and help them understand the hurt and pain that you're going through? At a certain age, they need to understand. They need to know. And then when you're not being abused and you're the abuser, that shit hurt too. So I'm not an abuser. Don't nobody ever get it twisted. But I'm gonna tell y'all a story because I wear my heart on my sleeve, and it is what it is. But it was a situation that I was in a few years ago, and I stabbed a nigga outside because he kept antagonizing me, and I didn't mean to stab him, but I stabbed him with a pen. I ain't stabbed nobody with no knife. Nobody call the FBI. The boys don't come after me. Long story short, whatever. But it was the fact that my son was there that made me realize I don't want this. I really started to change when I started to see what he saw. And, life goes on, years pass. I want to say about 2 years ago, my son came up to me and he like, yo, mom, you remember that time when you stabbed such and such and he was bleeding all over the place? And I was like, yo, that shit hurts. That shit hurt when your kid has those traumatic memories. That's why I feel like now I done abused my child. I done scarred him because it's the abuse, the repeated disrespect, the repeated fights, the bad situations. Whether you're the abuser or you're being abused, it still affects your kids. It's still something that they see, and it's still something that you have to heal from. They have to heal from. If you don't even know that you're being abused, how do you heal? What does that process look like if you don't even know that's what it is? If you're not even at that starting point of acceptance, if you see the red flags and it doesn't trigger you, nah, this is not what I want. I want something better. I want something more. How do you really jump into that? You know, um, I don't know. Abuse is a very sensitive topic. Abuse is a lot of Wine and Dine Wednesday, domestic violence. I am a survivor, and you can get out of any situation and every situation. It just takes self love, dedication, consistency. Find your happy place. Once you know what your happy place is nothing that should break that. It's nothing that should come in between you and your happy place. You have to love you. Self love will set you free. It will bring you everything you need. And, you can do it. You can do it. I did it. I'm still doing it. It's not easy. And you don't have to do it alone. We want to go far. We don't want to go alone. We want to go long. We don't want to go alone. When you can do it with someone, it just makes it easier. And I feel like it's more of a blessing. If I ain't blessing nobody, I'm blessing myself. This is accountability for me. This is me showing up for me. This is me acknowledging that I needed to express myself. This is me acknowledging that I needed someone. I needed something at some point, and I didn't have it. I didn't know where to turn. I didn't know who to look to, and it was hard. It made me feel really bad. And I hope I could save a life. I hope I could save a woman. I hope I can save many. I hope this helps somebody. I hope somebody thinks about something they want to talk about, or how, the abuse affected them, and maybe we could share it. We're going to run abuse back to the end of the year, not this year, but next year. It's a whole year, a whole 52 weeks. We need conversation. And so, this is going to come up definitely again. Maybe we'll have to break abuse down into, are we talking about domestic abuse, drug abuse, child abuse? Sex abuse. I ain't even talk about sexual abuse. I said rape, but yeah, there's many levels to abuse. And what does that mean to you? What does that look like? How does that make you feel to know that people are abused? You know, are you identified? Are you an abuser, or have you been abused? Are you a neutral? Do you not have no feelings about that? Or are you just a person of, you respect me, I respect you, you disrespect me, I disrespect you, and it is what it is. It's up. If it's up, then it's stop. Like, what's up? What it is? What it is, though? What's up? Can a good girl get a little love? Every bad girl get a little. Every good girl needs a little. Nah. When I put it down, I'ma pick it up, up, up. It's Wine Dine Wednesday, y'all. I'm always a vibe. I definitely want to bring this energy. I want to turn this into something so big that, you know, every woman stands up. Every woman speaks out. Don't be scared of your voice. Don't be scared of your testimony. You know, your story is your testimony. Nobody could tell you how to feel, how to manage, or what you should do about what you've been through or what you're going through. And nobody could tell you the real way to get out. I'm not an expert. I'm not a psychiatrist. I definitely went to therapy because I needed that help for me. I did group sessions and I did really well to the point where, they wanted to bring me in to lead the group to talk because I see, I saw, I acknowledged, and I did the work to change. It's not an easy process. I'm still doing the work. And without my kids, I don't even think I would have been able to do it. My kids is my why. My kids is my reason. They're the reason I want more. They're the reason I want success. They are the reason that I'm here and I'm healed. They are the reason that I still go, and they are the reason that I do this. Because thank God I don't have no little girls, but God bless any little girl, that they don't have to deal with abuse, that they know what abuse is and they acknowledge it, and they stray away when they see the red flags. They stay away when they see the red flags. They love them enough to know that love should not hurt. People might disagree, people might, argue, but love should not hurt physically. It should not hurt mentally. Like, there's a reason people last in relationships for a long time. And I don't want to take this into a whole relationship thing, but there's sacrifice, there's understanding, and there's compromise. If you cannot do those three things, then it's not real. It's not love. And I don't care what nobody say, how much he makes you smile. If he's beating your ass every time he can't get what he want, or every time you don't do what he want, it's not good. It's not healthy. Knowing what healthy living looks like to you is going to play a big part in you getting away from abusive situations and staying away from abuse. And like I said, don't get it twisted. I was abused by my partner, but there's also family abuse, there's also mental abuse, there's physical abuse, there's child abuse, there's drug abuse, there's sex abuse. There's so many different levels of abuse that if you need help, don't be quiet about it. Speak up, say something, get the help. And I'm sorry if you say something to the wrong person and it hurts you, because I've seen it happen. I know it happens, and I don't want that to be what it is. But there is somebody who will listen. There is somebody who can help. There is somebody else who's going through the same thing, and maybe y'all could just support each other. Maybe you could just help get your friend out the house sometimes. Maybe she just needs somebody to call and check up. Maybe she just needs somebody to say, "Oh, let's have a drink. Let's go to dinner. Let's watch a movie." Like, sometimes you need to just check on your friends. Just check on people, period. It don't even have to be your friend. Sometimes just wear a smile. Your smile could bless somebody's life, could change somebody's heart. Don't be evil. Evil is everywhere. Evil lurks. Evil is around. Be better than that. Be stronger than that. Don't let the evil hold you down. Be positive. Have energy. Have the strength. Love yourself. Self love is the best love you could ever get. It'll bring you anything you need. It'll bring you happiness. It'll bring you the light. I don't know, y'all, but I'm about to wrap it up because, like I said, I could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about abuse. Um, Today was a real day for me. I tried to stay in and stay focused on this to provide, the best insight, and sometimes it doesn't go like that. And I realized that, sometimes abuse don't even have to be what somebody else is doing to you. Sometimes you abuse yourself for the things you think and the things you say or the things you tolerate. It's like self-abuse. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if you feel anything different or better. Like, let me know what it is. Let me know if it's real. But thank y'all for tuning in. It's Wine and Dine Wednesday. We going out to end the year. We're gonna rock it out. Happy Halloween. Unfortunately, we're not gonna do no Halloween Wine and Dine Wednesday, because Halloween is not on Wednesday. But thank you for tuning in with me. You know, just stay strong. Believe in you. Love you. Join the community. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you show love. Make sure you give feedback. If you're watching, thank you for joining us. If you're watching the replay, welcome and thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. This is a wrap for this week. Till then, till next time, it's Wine and